Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes in 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
At least 2 people are dead in a crash involving a church van in Wake County. It happened in the area of Zebulon Road and Borum Siding Road. 3 family members who were all on the church van from First Missionary Baptist Church were taken to Duke University Medical Center for treatment. A presidential Twitter demand is getting a reaction from the Justice Department.
The Justice Department's watchdog will look into whether the FBI spied on President Trump's campaign for inappropriate purposes. The announcement Sunday came just hours after the president tweeted that he will officially demand it today. The DOJ has asked its inspector general to fold the request into an existing probe of possible political motivation within the FBI's investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election.
The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission is putting out a warning after 10 people have already died in boating accidents this year. 6 of those victims were not wearing life jackets. Senior Officer Joseph Spear tells CBS 17 the focus is on prevention.
Accidents do happen. The majority of them are preventable.
This is the first day of an inquiry into last year's devastating fire at Grenfell Tower in West London that killed 71 people.
The Grenfell Tower inquiry has told the bereaved there will be no limit on the time available for them to speak about their loved ones. The inquiry expects photos and videos will be presented to a large audience and streamed over the internet. But it is clear from the amount of time the inquiry is prepared to spend on it that this is vital to maintaining the confidence and support of those whose lives have been changed forever by this tragedy.
And more than 1,000 drivers are receiving red light tickets every month in Greenville, 6 months after the introduction of new red light camera program that one lawsuit is challenging the legality of. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump blunt on Twitter, saying that he demands, quote, the Department of Justice look into whether the FBI infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes. The president saying he's making the order official today. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
Congressman Adam Schiff, California Democrat, tweets the president's claim of a spy in his campaign is nonsense, that his demand is an abuse of power and an effort to distract from growing legal problems.
The Department of Justice says it will launch an investigation. Special counsel's investigation into whether or not the president obstructed justice may be over in a few months. While Robert Mueller's office is staying silent, Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani says he has been told that Mueller wants to wrap it up by September 1st. Texas remembering the 10 people killed in last week's school shooting in the town of Santa Fe, including a young exchange student.
Remember Jared Black. Remember Christian Riley Garcia.
The memorial service at a mosque in suburban Houston was for foreign exchange student Sabika Sheikh, but the names of all 10 of the victims of the Santa Fe High School massacre were read.
ABC's Jim Ryan, the governor of Texas, calling for a moment of silence later this morning. Warnings of more toxic gas from the Kilauea volcano eruption.
Additional evacuation orders in place because of concerns with the lava flow. Some people had to be airlifted out of their communities over the weekend. 4 more homes were destroyed by the lava flow, and geologists say they expect even more fissures to open up.
ABC's Marcy Gonzalez in Hawaii says toxic fumes are also rising as lava hits the ocean. A North Carolina man is under arrest accused of ramming his car into a restaurant near Charlotte, killing 2 people, including his own daughter. This man, Caleb Martin, works inside.
That was blood on the floor. The guy I helped call out, he was blood all over him.
Police say the driver, Roger Sell, facing 2 counts of murder. You're listening to ABC News.
It's time. Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $105 per month, and this rate will not increase for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed not to change for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call today for a quote at 1-800-862-TERM, 1-800-862-8376. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters at 1-800-862-8376 or visit our website, termbusters.com. Sample rate for preferred underwriting rate class.
Celebrity chef Mario Batali, the subject of a 60 Minutes investigation. Now he's facing investigations for sexual misconduct. The NYPD launching its look into after a woman accused him of drugging her and then attacking her. New head of the CIA will be sworn in today.
President Trump attends the swearing-in ceremony for Gina Haspel, who will become the first female director of the CIA. Haspel, a career intelligence officer, was reportedly the head of a CIA black site. Her nomination to be the next director of the agency sparked a renewed debate on torture. Last week, Haspel said the CIA should not have implemented its enhanced interrogation program after 9/11.
CBC's Karen Travers at the White House. President of Venezuela wins again. At the foreign desk, ABC's Tom Rivers.
Addressing a crowd in the presidential palace in Caracas, a victorious Maduro thanked his supporters and called for a dialogue with the opposition candidates. Venezuela, he told the joyful crowd, is the guarantee of political stability in South America. Earlier, while voting took place, Secretary of State Pompeo had warned sham elections change nothing. Maduro later countered by thanking his supporters for overcoming what he called so many attacks and lies. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Two inmates who broke out of a South Carolina prison are still on the run. Both Tyshawn Johnson and Curtis Green are facing murder charges. A third inmate who also broke out, he's been captured. This is ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call 800-295-1046. That's 800-295-1046.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Well, with springtime here, head on over to Oakland Feed and Seed for the things you need. Things like grass seed and garden seed, 10-10-10 fertilizer and 17-17-17 fertilizer. Oakland Feed and Seed carries Kentucky 31 and Rebel Turf and 5-star blend grass seed. That'll look good, won't it? They'll weigh up garden seed by the ounce or by the pound. How much do you need? They'll weigh up grass seed by the pound. Whatever your needs are, Scott and his team at Oakland Feed and Seed will try their best to do it for you. Need strong weed killer? Get it by the quart, gallon, and this kills all. 2.5 gallons is only $49.99. Get rid of them quick. That fish box, 100 count, $19.99. Why don't you come check Oakland Feed and Seed out and check prices? All your animal health needs, from dog shots to wormers. And don't forget to pick up some fire ant control, too. They have what you need at Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale, locally owned and locally run.
We'll see partly sunny skies around the area today. Plenty of humidity, along with a few widely scattered to scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon and evening. A few of those with locally heavy rain or gusty winds. We'll have highs that reach about 81 to 86. Tonight will be mostly cloudy and a little muggy. We'll have lows in the low to mid-60s. And then on Tuesday, partly to mostly cloudy. A pretty good chance of showers and storms toward the foothills. Lesser chances farther east. Highs upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
It looks like we'll have mostly cloudy skies in our forecast all this weekend, with possibility of some scattered showers about every day this week as well. Today, there's a 40% chance of it, 60 tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, a 50-50 chance of some scattered showers. Doesn't look like any storms coming through, but, you know, those thunderclouds could pop up any moment. But right now, every day, all the way through Sunday, there is a chance of afternoon showers. Right now, 64 degrees and cloudy skies here in Rutherfordton at WCAB in Rutherfordton. 6 minutes after the hour. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Joanne Bright Hodge, age 80, of Ellenboro, passed away Saturday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. Funeral services are private, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements. And guest registry available at harrelsonfuneralhome.com for Joanne Bright Hodge. Betty Morrison Jones, 85 of Forest City, died Friday at Oak Grove Healthcare in Rutherfordton. The funeral services be held 3 p.m. Tuesday at Long Branch Road Baptist Church, with Jerry Roop officiating. Burial will follow in the Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery. Visitation will be from 6 until 8 p.m. this evening at the Paget and King Mortuary in Forest City. The Paget and King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements, and online guest registry available at pagetking.com for Betty Jones. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. But the complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this afternoon, or rather this morning at 11:30, and then again this afternoon at 5, about 10 minutes after 5, as part of the afternoon report here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. A couple of heads up for the Memorial Day weekend coming up. Memorial Day services at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery will be Sunday, May 27th. That is coming up on Sunday at 2:30. Mr. Preston Holland, youth leader at Pleasant View Community Church, will offer the invocation, and the Reverend Ernie Cole, pastor of Mount Olivet Baptist Church, will be the guest speaker. Special music by Cosmo Panel, and everybody's invited to be a part of this at the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, Chase High Road in Forest City on Sunday. And the Forest City Kiwanis Club is accepting nominations for his annual Citizen of the Year Award. For many decades, this award has recognized people whose service makes a difference in the lives of those in the community. You know, those folks who work diligently to help others. Well, the nominations are due Friday, June 1st. Nominations should include the name and telephone number or email address of the nominee, along with a brief narrative of why the nominee deserves the award. The narrative should be between 250 and 500 words. The nomination should also contain the name and contact information of the person making the nomination. Submit your nominations to Mike Gavin, chairman of the Kiwanis Citizen of the Year Committee, at mgavin, that's G-A-V-I-N, mgavin777 at gmail.com, or send it to the Post Office Box 334, Bostic, 28018. Citizen of the Year. Well, the Braves had a fantastic weekend. On Saturday, they beat the Marlins 8-1. Then yesterday, they beat them 10-9. It's a good going there for the Braves. The Braves will now be playing the Phillies for a series, and we'll hear that game tonight right here, provided the rain doesn't hinder that. We'll have the Braves and the Phillies, and we'll join the pregame following News 13 at 6.
New York City. In February, 3 members of the notorious street gang MS-13 were given lengthy sentences for their role in the murder of a guy in Queens. Now, if and when they get out of prison, they're going to be deported. Alexandria, Virginia. In March, several members of MS-13 were convicted of kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The victim was 18. The gang members will serve mandatory life sentences. Los Angeles, also in March. An MS-13 gang member was convicted of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl and killing her. 3 others were involved in the brutal homicide, face the death penalty. I could cite these cases for hours. Yet all hell broke loose on Wednesday when, during a roundtable discussion on illegal immigration, President Trump called MS-13 gang members animals. Democrats and a drive-by media allies intentionally manipulated his remarks to make it seem like he was calling all illegals animals. The only thing worse than their outright lies is their willful defense of criminal predators who are indeed animals. But the brilliance of Trump is that he's now converted the Democrat Party into the best, greatest defenders of murdering terrorists I would have ever believed. If you were fumbling around in the dark and somebody handed you a flashlight, you take it, right? Shouldn't it be the same when it comes to spotting threats to your identity and the data on your devices? The digital world is so full of connections, it may only take one weak link for criminals to get in. Now, fortunately, new LifeLock identity theft protection now adds the power of Norton Security to shine light on the threats to your data today. Threats to your identity and threats to your computer or tablet like ransomware. No one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime, but new LifeLock with Norton detects a wide range of threats that you may not see on your own. Join now, and for the first year, get an additional 10% off the low starting price of $7.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Just go to LifeLock.com and enter the promo code RUSH. That's LifeLock.com. Remember, enter my name, RUSH. That's when the magic happens.
Mr. and Mrs. Business Owners, get your better return from your marketing dollars with the Sales and Advertising Department at WCAB. Get triple coverage from AM 590, Northland Cable Channel 5, and the World Wide Web. It works. Call Tracy or Jim.
287-3356. You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
Jesse Tyler was a lawman who operated in Utah at the turn of the century. And as the sheriff of Grand County, he was particularly tenacious in going after cattle rustlers. He not only brought in rustlers, he also went after stolen cattle. A bit of a foretent of legal actions to come in later years, Jesse was sued by the wife of a cattle thief for taking stolen cattle from her corral. I'm sure the wife threw herself at the mercy of the court, stating that Sheriff Tyler had not only taken her husband from her, he had also taken the cattle that she was hoping to use to support her family while her husband was in jail. I don't know if it worked, but I suspect if it were tried today, she would get the cattle back, and Sheriff Tyler would have been disciplined. But that wasn't Jesse Tyler's biggest mistake. For 3 weeks, Sheriff Tyler and a posse had been searching for cattle rustlers in Utah's Book Mountains. Not having much luck, the posse decided to spread out so they could cover more ground. On May 16, 1900, Sheriff Tyler and Deputy Sam Jenkins came across what they thought was an Indian camp. Possibly because of the earlier lawsuit, Sheriff Tyler was more sensitive to others' feelings, so he and Deputy Jenkins left their rifles with the horses. As they approached the camp, they discovered it wasn't Indians, but a band of rustlers led by outlaw Harvey Logan. Under gun, they ran for their horses. Harvey Logan pulled his gun and shot both squarely in the back. Logan wasn't concerned about political correctness. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
This is WCAB Rutherford, and 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Perhaps you've heard about the major devastation over in Polk County over the weekend due to the mudslide. While residents were cleaning up on Sunday, Polk County officials were assessing damage from the devastating storm in hopes of qualifying for federal disaster aid. Storms dumped up to 6 inches of rain in 3 hours Friday night, causing severe flooding and mudslides that resulted in 1 death in Polk County. A woman was killed after she was swept away by a mudslide in the 3000 block of U.S. Highway 176. She was attempting to escape her home with her husband when the mudslide struck shortly after 9 p.m. on Friday. The husband was swept away but survived, but the woman was trapped between the house and a carport. Her body was recovered Saturday morning. In this report, they are not releasing the name of the individual. I do have that name. As a matter of fact, she's a sister of a friend of mine from over in Polk County, but the officials are not releasing it, so I will not either. Emergency Management Director Bobby Arledge said the hardest hit area were along US 176, which remained closed in both directions on Sunday. Local crews, along with NCDOT engineers, were out assessing damage to homes and roads and bridges. Arledge said the hope is that a federal disaster aid declaration will be made. Meanwhile, he said Sunday's work was made more difficult because many motorists were ignoring the road closure signs. He says, "Do not drive around road closed" signs. Along US 176 near the mudslide that claimed the woman's life, neighbor Mike Caruth said up to 10 homes sustained damage and at least 3 were destroyed. He said when the rain kept pouring down Friday evening, he went out to check the nearby North Packlet River, but it was water gushing down the hills that was the most impressive sight. The whole mountain tried to come down, he said. Caruth, who has lived near Tryon the past 25 years, finally made it to a restaurant where people were stranded for the night. One lady said, "At least we got to meet new friends." Down the road on Sunday afternoon, about 24 members of Midway Baptist Church in Columbus were carrying shovels and buckets and helping a family clean out more than 2 feet of mud and debris from their lowest level. Pastor Peter McDaniel said the family had just joined the church about 2 months ago. When I asked them how bad was the damage, they were very reluctant to talk. Jennifer Blackwell of the Pine Crest Inn in Tryon said she was at home in Chimney Rock when the storm hit Friday night. She said her daughter and her friend were unable to make it from Lake Adger area in Mill Spring because NC number 9 was impassable. She attempted to drive on the road but turned back. "I never saw anything like it before," she said. At Side Street Pizza in Tryon Sunday, George and Roberta Tabb of Glassy said they were visiting family at Lake Adger, and when they tried to leave at 11 p.m., a stream had risen 2 feet above the road at a bridge on Palmer Road. They turned around and spent the night at the family's member's house, then left early Saturday morning. Both sides were off the bridge, and trees and power lines were down. Half of the road was caved in and swept away. After several other delays, they made it home safely, he said. Amanda Ballou, who works at McCurdy's Pub in Tryon, said the pub was filled Saturday with people who were knew of someone affected by the storm. The North Carolina Department of Transportation stated Sunday that US 176 near Thompson Road and several impassable secondary roads were closed, including Holbert Cove Road near Saluda in both directions and Green River Cove Road north of Columbus both directions. It may be several days before these roads are reopened, according to DOT. Motorists should use extreme caution while traveling in and through Polk County. Motorists are urged to obey all signs, barricades, detours, and warnings. Friday night and Saturday, Duke Energy reported several hundred power outages in Polk, Henderson, and Rutherford counties. By Sunday afternoon, power had been restored to all but 8 customers along US 176 west of Tryon in Polk County, where outages were caused by fallen trees or limb. Power was expected to be restored by Monday night. Henderson County Rescue Squad was also busy assessing storm damage and helping Polk officials. The Caramaya restaurant over there in Saluda, they were closed. They couldn't leave. People had to stay there overnight because of that. Other folks were traveling down the highway, couldn't get through. They spent the night in motels along the way. So it was a devastation to a lot of people there in Polk County. One of those kind of things. Storm went through yesterday here in Rutherfordton yesterday afternoon and knocked off power for several hundred people, but it was restored in just a matter of a short period of time. We'll get to the sheriff's report right now when we go over to the phones and get started. And here is Deputy Walker with that report from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. Good morning, Deputy Walker. How you doing?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Doing great. Tell us what's on your report.
In the last 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 247 calls. 9 arrests were made, and 193 people are currently housed in the jail. Starting with arrest reports, Katie Phipps was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor and felony. Charles Hornback arrested for assault by pointing a gun, assault on a female. Randy Johnson was arrested on extradition, fugitive of other state. Jada Revels, felony probation violation. Miranda Owens, arrested for resisting public officer, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Jason Dean Van Dyke, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Skylar Harris, arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting and obstructing a public officer. Amanda Wilson, arrested on a failure to comply. Amanda was also arrested for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Incident investigation reports. Ryan Green reported a break and entering, felony and larceny after breaking and entering. Martha Searchy reported a animal attack, animal bite. Robina Toms, a misdemeanor larceny. Alexandra Pursley reported another animal bite. One second. Richard Neely reported a break and entering in a motor vehicle and a larceny after break and entering. Thomas Krieger reported a felony larceny. April Sottle reported a misdemeanor larceny. And drop-in number 6 reported damage to property. And that's all, sir.
We appreciate that report very much. You be safe out there today.
I will, sir. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye. 23 minutes after 7 o'clock here on the Monday Morning Report on WCAB.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now we have Candy on the phone from the Communication Center. Candy, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing good.
What's on your report?
In the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communication Center has processed 809 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 80 for EMS, 21 for rescue. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office had 247, Forest City had 118, Rutherford had 39, Lake Lure had 19, and Spindle had 98. Our fire calls, Bills Creek responded to an electrical fire assisted by Fairfield and Lake Lure, Rutherford to a gas leak, SDO to a motor vehicle accident, and Spindle to 2 motor vehicle accidents, and that's all we had.
Thanks so much. You have a great Monday.
You too.
Bye. That's 911 reporting in this morning. How would you like to get $10 off your mechanical work done? Well, you can if you go to Ellenberg's Garage. Tell them you heard Jim talking good things about them up there. I like to support our local businesses, and I hope you do too. So we made special arrangements to give you $10 off your mechanical work at Ellenberg's Garage, 110 Lowing Mill Road across from the Old Gilkey School. Now, the phone number to call to make an appointment is 287-7996. If you got some kind of wheel alignment problem you need straightened out, they got the state-of-the-art 4-wheel alignment machine up there. If you need your air conditioner worked on, fixed, they can do that as well. They can check on your transmission. They can do anything from a small job to a major job, and they'll do it right. At Ellenberg's Garage, the local folks, they grew up right here, they run the business right here, and they know what they're doing, and they love to treat people very, very well. So go up to 110 Lowing Mill Road, across from the Old Gilkey School, to Ellenberg's Garage, and get the job done right. Somebody you can trust. Phone number again is 287-7996. Here's Ruby Taylor with our report from Danieltown, SDO. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
You feeling good today?
I sure am.
Good. What's on the report?
The fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Shannon Pritchard, Francis Huntley, Dawson Powell, and Abigail Hambrick having birthdays. And hope these people have a nice day. The signs are in the boughs today and tomorrow. And that's all I've got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. When your name is on the company, you know you want it done right. That's what Hutchins Pest Control does. They do it right. Honest, dependable, and on-time service. They appreciate the confidence you've placed in them. They promise to continue being the best they can be in the pest control business. Honest, dependable, and on time. Call on them to get your home or office protected. Call 287-5171. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control. That number again is 287-5171. Here's Steve now up at Rumlin Ball. Steve, I'm glad you didn't get washed away over the weekend.
I'm telling you, it was a good weekend not to be in Polk County.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Lots of casualties in terms, property loss.
One death.
A lot of homes that were damaged from the mudslides. We did have one mudslide on Buffalo Shoals Road that the fire department here responded to, and they had an electrical fire. But with 10 inches of rain, you would expect a whole lot more here, and we didn't have any of those other difficulties associated with a lot of rain.
10 inches of rain.
Yes, sir. We didn't have a whole lot of, we didn't have any high winds, I would say. Just mild winds, really, and maybe some, brief high winds with some of the thunderstorms. But overall, the winds cooperated with all, because if we'd had, more winds with that rain, it would have been ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but 10 inches of rain is what we got, and today's the best chance of sun, it looks like, for the rest of the week. Looks like we got some more stuff coming. I thought we were going to get a break, but I guess not. I don't know what system's coming next, but...
The clock's all wrong. April showers are supposed to come in April, I thought, right?
I guess we have a June monsoon. I don't know. We're just happy that we didn't get hurt any worse than we did, and all the golf courses look real pretty.
Yeah,
I can say that, and everything else does too. So, we are happy that we came away without too much issues.
Well, see, people still need to be cautious because it's not too late for some of those banks to start caving in and sliding down into the road anyway, even though it's not raining right now.
Right, mudslides there. They could just have a delayed response.
Yeah.
So so we're good so far, but we got to be mindful. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, Steve. I appreciate you being there for us this morning, and you have a great Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's 7:30.
Get ready for those hot summer months driving with a stop at RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue. The Express Inspection Station gets you back on the road and keeps you legal. Speedy Lube has 2 lanes to serve you, gets you in and out in no time, and vacuum your car while the oil is being changed, air conditioner checked, transmission flushed, wiper blades replaced if needed, even a top-of-the-line car wash, all at RS Speedy Lube and Inspection Station, Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Take care of that car and have a safe trip.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people coming in our area this week, this year, next few weeks and months ahead of us, and they stop and say, well, what is there to do in Rutherford? What do we need to go see? Well, tell them about Washburn Store. That's a historically significant place we have to offer right here in Rutherford County, and we're so proud to have them here. They're on the historical records, and they've got a lot of history there. And people can sign in the register, and they've got a book there that tells you people all over the country and even around the world have been to visit Washburn Store. So tell guests when they come, go to Washburn Store and tell them where that is between Boston and Sunshine. And you can find things like those of you who are local want to go ahead and get started planting. They got seed potatoes, onion sets, they got Great selection of garden seeds and plenty of tomatoes from Florida, $1.49 a pound. Check on that roll bologna, make you a sandwich with some Wisconsin June hoop cheese on it. Washburn Store, historically significant, and a very popular place for all of us here, and spread the word to guests so they can enjoy that hospitality as well. Here's Bob Hodge now. He's reporting to us from over in the Hudlow Fire District. Bob, good morning.
Well, good Monday morning.
I'm glad you didn't get washed away, Bob.
No, I'm still here.
Good, good.
I tell you what, looked like I had it rough over in Polk County and up towards Saluda up that way there.
They sure did.
So I had a lot of mudslides and roads washed away over there. So, and then had one woman was killed over there, I think, in a slide over there. So.
Yeah, that lady was a sister of a friend of mine that lives over there. She and her husband are friends of ours, and it's her sister that got killed.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but, you know, it's awful.
You never know.
Something like that happens like that.
Nature can be brutal sometimes.
Yeah, you live where it's on the side of a mountain or a valley or something there, when they have a lot of rain, you just got to be careful, because it's liable to slide down and wash your house away there or something. And with as much rain we've had here lately, it seems like every day it rains there. So, and the ground's already wet, don't have nowhere to go but run off there.
That's exactly right.
Jim, up here with our fire department, it's been fairly quiet over the weekend. We think there are a couple of calls of trees down in the road and 2 or 3 medical calls, and that's about it with the fire department up here. And maybe it'll stay pretty quiet with us today, but that drown is so wet. Get a little breeze blowing, it blows these trees down. Seems like a lot of them here the last few days. So.
Right.
You got to watch out for that. Be careful out driving, because you go around the curve in the road, you can't tell. Might be a tree laying down the road or something there.
Very easily happen. That's right.
Yeah,
Bob, did you get caught in that power outage yesterday afternoon?
Do what?
Did you get caught in that power outage yesterday afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock?
No, we didn't. Lose our power on that there, but a lot of people did. I know some of our friends at church lost power. It lives over there on Gilberttown Road back towards the roof there. So, but no, we didn't get caught up in that one. Well, when they built this new substation down here close to the intersection, and we operate off of it, so that helps our power a lot.
That's good.
You know, we used to, if anything happened at Ruth or somewhere out that way, it affected our power too. But we come off this new station now, and that helps a lot there. Well, Jim, you have a good day, and I guess I'll talk to you in the morning.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Have a good one now, and I'll see you then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's 7:35, and right now 64 degrees and cloudy skies here this marvelous Monday morning.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. When it comes time to do some sprucing up around the house and you're looking for floor covering, Do business with somebody local. Do business with Southern Carpet, a long-lasting tradition of quality. They grew the business from start to ground up, and now they're serving a lot of people, not only here but a lot of areas. They do houses at the beach and the houses in the mountains, and they do houses that you have, apartments wherever you are, and they'd be glad to serve you as well. Since 1993, Joel and Lynn Toney have been doing this business, and Clayton joined the business when he was old enough to see over the rolls of carpet there, and he's such a great guy to do business with. They work hard, they treat people fair, they sell good merchandise, and you can go by to see them at 1512 West Main Street. Phone them at 245-0310. Southern Carpet, that's the place and the name to remember when it comes to floor covering.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
Now at 7:37, we're over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District with Sue Price. Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How's Richard doing?
He's doing much better. He's at Spartanburg General, but he's doing much better.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll get to come home maybe tomorrow or Wednesday.
Well, I hope so. I was sorry to hear that he had to be admitted to the hospital.
Well, it was a scary time. It happened so fast. He just got really bad. But we're just thankful that he's made a turnaround.
Good.
So hopefully he'll get home soon. Well, let's see. I haven't been here to hear from the fire department. We appreciate the first responders. They came first, and we're thankful for the fire departments and the first responders. It's just a good thing to have them close by. Let's see, I don't have any birthdays on my calendar. Fairview's got a birthday for Charles Van Dyke, so happy birthday, Charles. I hope you'll have a good one. Yesterday was Leslie Melton. And let's see, nothing on First Broads for today. In my announcements, the Hollis School reunion is coming up Saturday, June 2nd, over at Big Springs Baptist Church Family Life Center. And the center will open at 3 o'clock, and the meals at 5. The cost of the meal is $11, and you can mail a check by May 25th to Robert Shuford, 1415 Hinton Creek Road, Ellenborough, 28040. And make the checks payable to Robert. And if you need more information, you can call Robert at 704-434-6026. So I hope there'll be a good turnout for that. We usually have a pretty good crowd for it. I hate we're going to miss it this year, but I hope there'll be a good crowd. And so far, I think that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's just quiet over this way and calm, and I'm getting ready to try to go back down. So,
well, give Bridget our regards.
I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Sue Price reporting in out of Cherry Mountain Fire District this morning. Well, when you get an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, you know you're doing something right. Well, that's the kind of rating Miracle Ear gets. And you need to check with them when it comes time to do something about your hearing loss. It's nothing to be embarrassed over. It's something that you're smart enough to know to do something to improve it. And Miracle Ear would be glad to help you. There's so many features you'll appreciate about Miracle Ear. Ask Lisa Terry, the hearing specialist, about what you need to do for that free hearing test. No obligation, no pressure, nothing. It doesn't take very long. And you'll be glad to know what's going on in there. Maybe you don't need a hearing instrument. If not, that's great. If you do feel like you need to move in that direction, talk with Lisa, and she'll certainly give you the right answers for that. She does a good job over there. That's Miracle Ear. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply in Rutherfordton has garden supplies, including vegetable plants, seeds, shrubs, and more. Mulch available by the bag or scoop. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is now the authorized dealer for Mantis Tillers and Mary Tillers. For a limited time, you can register to win a Mary Tiller. Check with Farmer's Friend for details. Get your propane grill tanks filled. 20 pounds, only $10.99. There's much more. Stop by for springtime. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. Saturdays until 2. George gave out Tiller away last week, but he's got customer appreciation going on this week. You need to stop in by. There's some really, really good deals and specials going on for customers. And he'd love for you to see what's going on with customer appreciation this week at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supplies. Now we're up at Union Mills with the Kelly Report with Brenda. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this Monday morning?
I'm doing great. Hope you're doing well.
I am. I'm just hope that we don't get no more rain.
I think we've had a good bit of that right now. I'm ready to see some sunshine.
From Tuesday night till, let's see, Saturday, I had 10 and 9/10 of an inch of rain up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rain, Brenda.
I know it. I've never seen it like that here. My garden back here looked like a pond. I said, oh, my goodness.
Did you wash it all up?
Some of it did, and some of it didn't.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Is your driveway still intact?
Yeah, my driveway's still intact, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, my neighbor down here had some work done on it, and it had a side ditch, and it slants down toward the side ditch, so that took care of all that. Plus, they dug some things out to take it on out into the woods.
Yeah, be good.
So that was good. Yeah. But some people didn't fare so good. I know I went out to the yard sale Saturday over at the clubhouse, and Stephen Ginger Roof, I think it messed their bridge up, but they might have got that fixed. I'm not sure. It was just people's gravel was all out in the roads, and even on the side of the road, you know, where they build the shoulder up with gravel, it was all out in the roads and trees down and all kind of stuff.
Wow.
But at least we didn't have no fatalities here, I don't think, from it, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. We're sorry about that lady over in Polk County.
Yeah, that was a tragic thing to happen, man.
Oh, yeah. It'd be awful trying to get out of something, and then, boom, you're dead. And that man down in Gastonia that drove his vehicle into that restaurant or whatever,
yeah.
My oldest daughter used to go to church with him down in Gastonia.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what was his problem? Just
I don't know what his problem was. Apparently he went crazy.
Mad, angry, and
something. Yeah, there's a lot of anger out there, aren't there?
There's a lot of anger out there.
Yeah.
People need to pray less hard for something other than anger.
That's right. They need to be in church listening to the word and remember to love thy neighbor as thyself.
Amen. Preach it, girl. Preach it.
Let's see. I've got 60 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today, I've got Daniel Pruitt, Scott and Shelby Nicholas anniversary, and then Tamara J. Campbell, a birthday. On Round Hill, I've got Mary Nanny. So we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcement, Macedonia Baptist Church will have their memorial service, and that'll be Sunday the 27th. There'll be no Sunday school, but the Pathfinders will be singing from 10 till 11, and then they'll have the worship service, and after the worship service, they'll have a covered dish meal. Then Saturday, May the 26th, from 7 to 10 a.m., Country Style Breakfast fundraiser for Michael Connor. This will be at the White House Community Building on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Michael's facing a kidney transplant, and it's going to cost somewhere around $335,000, and the price of the meal is $650. And you can, all donations appreciated. For more information, call 460-7596, and it says join us and get your name in the drawing for a great donated item. And other than that, I don't have nothing.
Brenda, I do appreciate it. You be careful up there and have a great day.
Okay, catch you later.
Thanks. Bye. Well, is your eyes important to you? Your vision important to you? Well, Jim, you said, Jim, that's a crazy question. You know it is. Well, when your vision's important to you, who you trust your vision care to should be important. That's why Dr. Troy Tevis, owner and operator of Tri-City Optometric Eye Care in Rutherfordton, has been voted the best in Rutherford County 3 years in a row. He cares about his patients. He spends time with them. He understands his patients' needs and concerns. And Tri-City Optometric Eye Care offers full-service eye exams, contact lenses, emergency eye treatment, quality affordable eyewear, and hundreds of fashion frames. And the friendly office staff will be glad to file your insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, United Healthcare, March Vision, iMed, just to name a few of them. They'll do that for you. Dr. Tebbis is accepting new patients now. Just call 288-8662 for an appointment. He also has an office in Tryon at 486 South Trade Street there in Tryon. If your vision is important to you, who you trust your vision care to should also be important. Tri-City Optometric Eye Care is a good source to do that. All right, we're going over to Ellenboro now and see if Ellenboro's okay and see if Luther's okay. Luther, good morning.
Good morning. It's not raining out here right now.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Rained everywhere else, but not raining here now.
Yeah.
It's quiet out here, just nothing going on this morning. That is a very quiet weekend. What a whole lot going on. Let's see, fire department had one accident, 2 medical calls. So other than that, they've been quiet this morning, just nothing happening here. My revival coming up, starting this coming Sunday night, 7 o'clock here at Buffalo Church, 7 o'clock. Reverend Scott. I can't think of anything. Huffman will be speaker down there, so everybody that is. Then say, well, wish happy birthday today to Billy Stacy. He's having a birthday today, so hope he has a great day. Nothing else going on out here, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Have a great day, and I'll see you then.
All right, take care.
Bye. Birthday time and anniversary time for this 21st day of May 21st. Call it into us now, Todd. Looking for your phone call. He'll take those down, and we'll put those in a drawing for delicious Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. That's straight ahead.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
I'm sure glad we have a fine company like Henson Building Materials right here locally. I'm glad that it was founded right here, grew right here, and is still here. Henson Building Material on Duke Street, Forest City, stands tall and proud of their local heritage. You know, Henson Building Material has a lot of things going on. A lot of folks still depend on them for the lumber and the building supplies, but a lot of people also depending on them for other things. So those folks who work around the house and do their own handwork, they got tools in there for you. They can take care of everything from plumbing to electrical, to power tools, door hardware, to cleaning supplies, and on and on. I could go listing a lot of things. Darren Honeycutt, the manager, and his team have over 100 years of combined experience. And they're local guys, and they know how to handle the customers. They know how to greet them and meet them and answer the questions and help them. And they don't ever burden you, follow you around like a little puppy dog, but you can find them when you need them. If you have a question, you can find somebody to help you, and they'll point you to the right direction. Stop by real soon at Henson Building Material. And right now, find the specials on Georgia boots. It's the specials right now on Georgia boots at Henson Building Material. Duke Street, Forest City, open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. Great civic-minded folks, and support Henson Building Material. We're proud of them right here. And the drop-in food store, of course, they're ready for summertime, too. They got some great specials. The May deli specials include the liver mush biscuits, 99 cents, or fried chicken breast, 6 potato wedges, and a roll for only $3.99. Add a fountain drink for only 99 cents. And it's slushy season for the kiddos. Stop in after school and get a 12-ounce slushy for only 99 cents. Soft serve ice cream and chocolate or vanilla cones only 99 cents. Drop-in food store. They're there for you. Get one topping pizza for only $7.99, or choose several or all 10 toppings for only $9.99. They got a lot of specials on pizzas. That drop-in food store, they're perfect for folks in a hurry. Come on, drop in. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Charles Van Dyke of Golden Valley. He's 89 today. And Margot Park is having a birthday. She works over at Long John Silver. I want to wish Margot a happy. Laura Starnes up in Gilkey had a birthday on Saturday. Pat Hutchins in Rutherfordton celebrating a birthday. Joyce Dobbins over in Gilkey also is celebrating a birthday today. And Daniel Pruitt is having a birthday. Scott and Shelby Nichols celebrating an anniversary. And Tamara J. Campbell having a birthday today as well. So we'll find out who's going to win those donuts in just a moment. All those that are called in are eligible to win, and we'll find out who in just a moment. Big congratulations going out to Charles Van Dyke of Golden Valley. He's 89 today, and he's just won the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. Congratulations, Charles Van Dyke, this morning. He's our donut winner. And for everybody celebrating a birthday, we hope it's going to be a great birthday for you. And happy birthday. And happy anniversary. Have many more of those. Well, coming up, we got an update on news from our networks. News from here and there coming up right after 8 o'clock. And we also have Terry Thomas to talk about where some jobs are for you to get out and go get them. And at 8:30, of course, this morning, 8:30, Word of Faith speaks out live here in the studio. 8:30 here live on WCAB.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. A car rode right into a restaurant in Bessemer City, North Carolina, near Charlotte yesterday afternoon. 2 people were killed and several others injured. Local police believe it was a domestic incident. Chief Tom Ellis is with the Bessemer City Police Department.
We're praying for the families and all the victims involved, and we're doing a complete investigation. The whole city will come together. We are the city with a heart.
In Santa Fe, Texas, dozens of people attended a candlelight vigil last night for the victims of the Santa Fe school shooting on Friday. We're starting to learn more about the suspect, 17-year-old Demetrius Bergalchis. Omar Villafranca has more from Santa Fe.
Police reportedly confronted the gunman just 4 minutes after the first shots were fired, and that started a 25-minute gun battle. A school resource officer was shot before the suspect finally gave up.
At least 2 people have died. 11 others have been hurt in a wreck involving a church van in North Carolina. The wreck was reported around 5:30 p.m. Sunday near Roseville, about 15 miles northeast of Raleigh. No word yet on possible charges. Polk County Emergency Management began damage assessments today. Floodwaters have receded in most areas of Polk County following flash flooding and mudslides that claimed the life of one person on Friday night. Columbus Fire Chief Tony Perister tells tells WLOS News.
I've seen probably spent 10 years ago or better where we had flooding in the area, but not to this extent with the mudslides and the damage that we have seen on 176.
North Carolina officials are putting out a warning after 10 people have already died in boating accidents this year. 6 of those victims were not wearing life jackets. That according to officials with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission. You're listening to NCN News.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Hundreds line the streets of Kennebunkport, Maine, waving flags to welcome home the 41st president. Sam Reed, with a TV station there, tells us
President George H.W. Bush's arrival, a motorcade, would lead him to his home away from home on Walker's Point.
When I heard he was coming through town, couldn't miss the opportunity to just show how grateful I am to just him and his family. Just happy to be here.
Take a flag. Just a few short hours, the community rallied together, springing into action, spreading the word. 41 at 93 years old would be traveling through the heart of Kennebunkport to spend the summer in the state he loves so much.
A total of 36 private college and universities around the state have a yearly economic impact of some $14.2 billion. Hope Williams is president of the North Carolina Independent Colleges and Universities and says those schools are traditionally smaller but make a big impact.
Even among our smallest institutions, in many cases, they are among the largest employers, in many cases the largest private employer in that county or in that region.
It was 50 years ago, the Poor People's Campaign, and it's back. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
What's disgusting? Union busting.
Many of the activists weren't even born when Martin Luther King Jr. launched his Poor People's Campaign in 1968. But a network of largely liberal campaigners across 35 states is holding 40 days of protests and teach-ins, demanding new anti-poverty laws and reforms to laws they say make it tough for poor and black citizens to vote. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
North Carolina officials say 10 emergency managers and 5 service officials will work in Hawaii on the response to the erupting Kilauea volcano. The State Department of Public Safety says the 10 left on Saturday after Hawaii's State Emergency Management Agency requested help. Mike Rayleigh, NC.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump wants a new investigation into whether the FBI infiltrated his campaign. In a weekend tweet, he demanded one, and ABC News senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas says the Justice Department is responding.
Clearly, the Justice Department is saying that we will investigate what the president wants us to look into, but I got to tell you, a lot of current and former law enforcement officials are saying this is pressure by the president, who is under investigation.
And maybe in sight for the special counsel's investigation into whether there is obstruction of justice in the Russia campaign. ABC's Karen Travers is at the White House.
President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, tells ABC News that about a month ago, special counsel Robert Mueller said his goal was to be finished with the investigation related to the president by September 1st, if there is an interview with Mr. Trump. That, of course, is a very big if.
And Robert Mueller's team hasn't said anything at all about an end to the investigation. On Twitter this morning, the president is also talking about trade in China, promising trade barriers are coming down. Here's ABC's Mona Rivera.
The market's relieved that we seem to be back from the brink of a trade war with China. This after Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin told Fox News Sunday that significant progress has been made after several days of talks with Beijing.
We're putting the trade war on hold. So right now we have agreed to put the tariffs on hold.
Tariffs were planned on up to $150 billion of Chinese goods.
All of Texas will go quiet this morning. A moment of silence for the 10 people killed in last week's school shooting in Santa Fe. ABC's Marcus Moore.
This morning, we know that at least 2 people are still in the hospital, including Officer John Barnes. He's the school police officer who's being called a hero for helping to stop this shooting. He is in a Galveston hospital, still listed in critical condition, along with a teacher, Flo Rice, who is in good condition at a Galveston hospital as well.
New York Police Department launching a sexual misconduct investigation after Chef Mario Batali has been accused of drugging and attacking a woman. You're listening to ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call 800-295-1046. That's 800-295-1046.
President Trump will be at the CIA later this morning for the swearing-in of new agency chief Gina Haspel. The latest worry in Hawaii, dangerous gases at the spot where the Kilauea lava is hitting the ocean.
There's a hydrochloric acid and fine particles of glass in that, and the concern is that those plumes could move onshore, and because of that, they've now ordered even more evacuations.
ABC's Marcy Gonzalez. Manhunt in South Carolina after a prison break.
Now we're asking the public to call if anything, if they see or hear anything, to please call and let us know, because we have to get these individuals off the street.
Orangeburg County Sheriff Leroy Ravenel, 2 men on the loose. Both have been charged with murder. And as we get closer to vacation season, ABC's Daria Albinger says, don't worry if you're feeling just a little nervous.
A lot of Americans can't seem to unplug when they go on vacation. Account Temp's Mike Steinitz says that's not a bad thing to a certain extent.
I do periodically check in, more because it just gives me peace of mind, just to know that I'm not going to be coming back to a pile of work when I get back. However, I do put limits on it.
And he says, bosses, you can set an example by taking time off yourself.
Because if you don't, the people that work for you may feel very guilty and may feel like they're doing something wrong by not taking a vacation, and hence lead to burnout and not happy in their position.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $105 per month, and this rate will not increase for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed not to change for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call today for a quote at 1-800-862-TERM, 1-800-862-8376. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters at 1-800-862-8376 or visit our website, termbusters.com. Sample rate for preferred underwriting rate class.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
North Carolina Tractor Supply, your Massey Ferguson dealer in Rutherford, has some really great ideas this year. This could be the year for you to get that Massey Ferguson you've been wanting. Stop by today and see what Massey Ferguson and Phil Sheehan at North Carolina Tractor Supply have for you. Check to see if you qualify for 0% financing. Today could be your day at North Carolina Tractor Supply, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford.
We'll see partly sunny skies around the area today. Plenty of humidity, along with a few widely scattered to scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon and evening. A few of those with locally heavy rain or gusty winds. We'll have highs that reach about 81 to 86. Tonight will be mostly cloudy and a little muggy. We'll have lows in the low to mid-60s. And then on Tuesday, partly to mostly cloudy. A pretty good chance of showers and storms toward the foothills. Lesser chances farther east. Highs upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Well, let's hope and pray the scattered showers we're going to be experiencing this week won't be as heavy as what we've had in the past. But we do have scattered showers in the forecast every day all the way through the weekend. But it'll be come and go. It'll be some sunshine and some clouds and some maybe by Wednesday or Tuesday night, we may have some thunderstorms again. But hopefully and pray that it won't be as heavy as it has been, where property is damaged and lives are lost. But that's the forecast. We're going to get up to 82 today, 78 tomorrow, Wednesday 84, 84 Thursday, 83 on Friday, 82 on Saturday, and 80 on Sunday of next week. And right now we are at 66 degrees here at WCAB, 66 degrees and cloudy skies, waiting on the scattered showers to develop. Congratulations to Charles Van Dyke of Golden Valley. He's 89 today, and he won the De La Donuts from Granny B's this morning. We'll have that certificate here for you to pick up and take over to Granny B's. Monday mornings is our day to talk with Terry Thomas. He has the information where the jobs are in our area, so we'll put him on the phone right now. Terry, good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, and yourself?
Doing great. You had a good weekend, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Good. Tell us where some job opportunities are.
Okay, we're going to start in the Rutherfordton area. We have a general laborer position. This is working at a sawmill. This job pays $9 to $10 an hour. We also have a housekeeping position in a nursing home, and this job pays $7.25 an hour. Over in the Forest City area, we have a maintenance technician position for a data center. This requires a high school diploma and at least 1 year of maintenance, and the pay depends upon experience. We have an engineering position for a manufacturing plant. This job does require a bachelor's degree, and the pay ranges anywhere from $52,000 a year up to $71,000 a year, depending upon experience. We also have a quality assurance analyst position. This job requires 2 years experience, and you must have a high school diploma, and it pays $10 an hour. We also have a company needing a sales support and a part-time sales associate's position. Both of these job pays anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour, and you must have a high school diploma and or GED. In the construction area over in Columbus, we have a pipe fitter and welder position. This is MIG and TIG. You must have at least 6 months of welding experience, a high school diploma, and this job pays from $16 to $25 an hour, depending upon experience. We also have a pipe fitter. This job requires 2 years experience, a high school diploma, and it pays $16 to $25 an hour. And we have an electrician in the Columbus area, and this job pays anywhere from $6.25 an hour, or $16 to $25 an hour, 2 years experience, and you must have a high school diploma. We have various certified nursing assistants positions and RN positions throughout the county, and the pay varies depending upon the position. And these are just a few of the jobs that we have available at the Rutherford County NC Works Career Center. We are located at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. For more information or these or other positions, you can call us at 286-3042, or you can go on our website at www.ncworks.gov.
Terry Thomas, thank you so very much, and I hope you have a great week.
It's my pleasure. And just to let you know, we will be closed next Monday for Memorial Day.
Be closed on Monday the 28th of Memorial Day. Okay, well, enjoy that day off, and I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Harry.
Yes, sir.
Terry Thomas reporting in this morning. It's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Mr. and Mrs. Business Owners, get your better return from your marketing dollars with the Sales and Advertising Department at WCAB. Get triple coverage from AM 590, Northland Cable Channel 5, and the World Wide Web. It works. Call Tracy or Jim. 287-3356.
News from here and there this morning. More updates on what's been happening over the weekend in terms of the bad weather over in Polk County, Saluda area. US 176 was caked in with mud following that Friday rainstorm. Boulders half the size of cars downed power lines and power poles, and 3 to 6 or more feet of mud covered US 176 about 1/3 of the way up between Tryon and Saluda Saturday. following a massive rainstorm that swept through Polk County and western North Carolina Friday evening. On the side of the road next to a washed-out driveway sat a car that could not get home. Water washed the road away from the guardrail and washed the earth out from under the edge of the road. Cracks in the road from the mountainside to the washed-out cliff showed the road was no longer passable. The big slide happened just below a vacation house located at 3791 U.S. Highway 176, a few hundred yards up the road. Tall Rock Vineyard Lane was also badly washed out, and a small SUV sat abandoned as water, a couple of inches deep, still washed down the mountainside and crossed the road toward the Packlet River. Sometime during the night, the water was so deep it swept away the earth and rocks supporting the road, leaving a gaping cave under the asphalt. There were several smaller slides up and down the highway between Saluda and Tryon. DOT crews had most of them cleaned up by early Saturday afternoon, however. By 3 p.m., the only thing to see were piles of brush, rocks, trees, and mud where crews had pushed it off the highway. In many places, the highway was still colored a dull reddish-brown where mud had collected during the night. Gray-brown clay showed many feet high in the several places where the water had snapped 100-foot-tall trees, washed away large boulders, stripping the mountainside of everything but scars of mud, shimmering in the occasional flashes of sunlight. Water rushed down cliff sides and splashed cars as they drove back up the mountain toward the Interstate 26. In several places, streams of water flooded across the road to rush down to the river below. The river itself was a roaring, rushing, turbulent, brown, tossing trees, boulders, and gallons of mud toward Tryon. On Interstate 26, drivers could see remnants of where mudslides had closed the highway for a brief time Saturday morning. In a place or two on the interstate, the water had washed away the shoulders, leaving gaping edges of broken asphalt on the edge of the highway. Dorwith and Cleland said they had been watching cars turn around in front of the yellow police tape block in 176 all morning. Dorwith said even the bicycles couldn't get past the mudslide. Some residents took shelter at the Carol Mai dining room on US 176 during the storm Friday until they could get to Polk County High School, which was turned into an emergency shelter that night. There's no word as to how long it'll take to clean up all the large mudslides and repair 176, but it's a safe bet people will be going the long way to Saluda for a period of time. Of course, that information there from Catherine Hunter, writing for the Tryon Daily Bulletin. The weather continued to cause issues in the area all weekend long, but the brunt of the impact was on US 176 in Polk County. Many of you have traveled that road many times. Sections of it were closed to traffic after heavy rains damaged the road and caused damage overnight. Actually, additionally, Henderson County issued a request for emergency assistance at noon on Saturday, and according to the release, county agencies and departments will provide assistance as directed by Henderson County Emergency Management Director Jimmy Brissy to help out neighbors during this time of distress. There was no timetable for when US 176 would be reopened. US 176 is closed. It will be for a while, said Polk County Manager Marsh Pittman, noting there were private drives that were washed away. Drivers are advised to avoid US 176 and to maintain caution through the area because of additional flooding area. Don't go either way on 176, he said, adding that the drivers should proceed with caution anywhere in the county, both Polk and Henderson. People need to be cautious. Water is certainly dangerous. Parts of Interstate 26 were closed in both directions in Henderson and Polk counties because of the flooding late Friday night, and floodwaters had reached above 3 feet in some areas of the interstate. Plus, US 25 and US 74 East and NC 108 had reopened about 5:30 Saturday morning. Pittman said the closing of sections of I-26 caused some drivers to detour onto NC 108, which complicated matters. According to the National Weather Service, in Greer, western portions of Polk County received 5 to 6 inches of rainfall over a 3-hour period on Friday night. In addition to flash floods, mudslides, and landslides were reported. A woman was killed Friday night after she was swept away by a mudslide in the 3000 block of U.S. Highway 176. The woman was attempting to escape her home with her husband, and was outside when the mudslide struck. The incident occurred shortly after 9 p.m. Henderson County Rescue Assistant Chief Adam Justice said the husband was swept away as well, but he did survive. He was beat up pretty bad. Justice said they were standing between their house and a carport when the mudslide hit. The house was knocked off its foundation from the slide. The woman's body was recovered by search and rescue teams early Saturday morning. The woman's identity was not being released. About 40 people were trapped overnight at Caramai Dining in Tryon because of the floodwaters. Tryon Fire Department Assistant Chief James Waters said the people trapped at Caramai Dining were rescued Saturday morning without injury. According to meteorologist Rodney Henson, there's still some potential for more rainfall, but it's unlikely to be as concentrated as it has been for the last several days. The water flow is more southwestern moving. It's not moving over the same areas, but there's still the potential. We're not out of the woods yet, but it's looking like more of an isolated incident and not widespread like it was before. Pittman says they're trying to be proactive and learn from every incident. A flash flood watch was set to end at midnight, but a river flood warning for the French Broad River near Fletcher, affecting Buncombe and Henderson County, and the French Broad River at Bladen, affecting Henderson and Transylvania counties, continued to be in effect. Henson said the river flood warning was set to continue until at least Sunday morning. Hopefully, they'll fall below flood stage Sunday morning. As of 5 p.m. on Saturday, the French Broad River was at 17.88 feet. Flood stage is at 16 feet, while the French Broad at Fletcher was 15.1 feet. Flood stage is 13 feet. Pittman noted a number of local agencies in Polk County as well as regional agencies like Henderson County and the Red Cross were involved. It's a great example of how folks pull together, he said. A shelter in Polk County had been opened at Polk County High School in conjunction with the Red Cross. Pittman said about 30 people were trapped and had to be moved to the shelter. It closed at 9 a.m. Saturday morning, and all residents had returned home. Pittman said the shelter briefly reopened again, but had closed later Saturday and was expected to remain closed. What a tragic, what a terrible thing of nature to have happened with our neighbors over in Polk County. Meanwhile, over in Bessemer City, a driver has been arrested and 2 people are dead, including an off-duty deputy, after a car crashed into a restaurant in Gaston County. The crash happened just after noon at the Surf and Turf Lodge in Bessemer City, according to Police Chief Tom Ellis. One of the victims was identified as a Gaston County Sheriff's Deputy, Caitlin Self. The driver was identified as the victim's father, Roger Self. He has been arrested, and police say they believe he intentionally drove into the building. The identity of the other victim was not released at this writing from WSPA. Police say several others were hurt and taken to the hospital in Charlotte and Gastonia. 19 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Monday morning. Sports update coming in a few moments. Sheriff's report in just a few moments. And at the bottom of the hour, 8:30, Word of Faith speaks out live here in the studios at WCAB. Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care.
Spring is in the air, and if you find yourself in need of a new nebulizer, remember Smith's Drugs. We have a variety of character nebulizers to help you take care of your breathing needs. We have fire trucks, trains, penguins, panda bears, and boring green ones too. Come see us at Home Medical Department at 139 East Main Street, Forest City.
Thanks very much, Carson. Doing a great job there. Listen, coming up on Wednesday, we will be out and about broadcasting live from the grand opening and ribbon cutting of Fat Tracy's in their new location there, West Main Street, Forest City, in the old Hickory Log Barbecue Building. They moved over there, doing a great job, and they've got a lot of great food available for you. Come on out and enjoy that with us. Ribbon cutting will be at 10:30 with the Chamber of Commerce, along with Tracy and his staff and Clark of the Chamber of Commerce and other members of the board. So come on by and enjoy that, and then hang around for the live broadcast. That's Wednesday morning, starting at 10:30. 10:30 until 12:30 will be our broadcast time. We hope to see you out there. Our first Owls radio game scheduled for the 31st of May. 31st of May, we'll be broadcasting live the Owls game and have about, 2, 4, 6, about 12 games throughout the season. Some home, some away. So be sure to follow the Owls in person if you can, live if you can, on the radio. Thursday night, over to McNair Field, the Hoppers, nationally known, world-famous gospel group, will be singing live in concert at McNair Field Thursday evening. Get your tickets through the foundationshows.org website or stop by the foundation and get your ticket. Now here is Deputy Walker with the report from the Sheriff's Department.
In the last 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 247 calls. 9 arrests were made, and 193 people are currently housed in the jail. Starting with arrest reports, Katie Phipps was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor and felony. Charles Hornback arrested for assault by pointing a gun, assault on a female. Randy Johnson was arrested on extradition, fugitive of other state. Jada Revels, felony probation violation. Miranda Owens, arrested for resisting public officer, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Jason Dean Van Dyke, failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Skylar Harris, arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting and obstructing a public officer. Amanda Wilson, arrested on a failure to comply. Amanda was also arrested for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Incident investigation reports. Ryan Green reported a breaking and entering, felony and larceny after breaking and entering. Martha Searchy reported a animal attack, animal bite. Robina Toms, a misdemeanor larceny. Alexandra Pursley reported another animal bite. One second. Richard Neely reported a break and entering in a motor vehicle and a larceny after break and entering. Thomas Krieger reported a felony larceny. April Sottle reported a misdemeanor larceny. And drop-in number 6 reported damage to property. And that's all, sir.
Mr. and Mrs. Business Owners, get your better return from your marketing dollars with the Sales and Advertising Department at WCAB. Get triple coverage from AM 590, Northland Cable Channel 5, and the World Wide Web. It works. Call Tracy or Jim. 287-3356.
Sports update coming up, and we'll check that weather forecast. Bottom of the hour, 8:30, Word of Faith. Respond right here live on the radio.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Golden State has a 2-1 lead in the NBA's Western Conference Finals after the Warriors cruised to a crushing of the Houston Rockets 126-85. After being held to just 16 points in Game 2, Steph Curry poured in 35 points for the Warriors.
I had plenty of opportunities, just couldn't knock it down. Third quarter, it opened up. So, I've been doing it for a while and won't let, 2 tough games shooting keep me frustrated and just keep shooting and let it kind of take care of itself.
Rockets guard Eric Gordon says the NBA's overall #1 seed in this postseason will rebound from this 41-point loss.
We'll bounce back. We're going to be just fine. It's all about we're a really good team, and we always done well on bouncing back, and we just got to continue to do what we need to do and focus on it. And we know that they're a good team. Like I said, it's just all about a game full of runs. Whoever has the most runs usually wins.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights have beat the Winnipeg Jets 2-1, and with that win, become the first team in NHL history to win their first 3 playoff series in their inaugural season. They're also headed to the Stanley Cup Finals. The other team that's not, the Jets. Their goalie, Connor Hellebuyck, said this is a difficult way to end what's been a memorable season.
I thought we were the better team, but they're walking away with a 4-1 lead, and I thought this was our year.
NFL owners will meet later this week in Atlanta and are expected to take a vote on the approval of the sale of the Carolina Panthers. Last week, hedge fund manager David Tepper agreed to buy the team from Jerry Richardson for an NFL record $2.2 billion. Yesterday, Tepper spoke for the first time about buying the team as he delivered the commencement address at Carnegie Mellon University.
A kid who couldn't afford to go to an NFL game until well into his 20s is on the verge of getting the NFL's approval to buy the Carolina Panthers.
Tepper is part owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers and must sell that interest before he becomes the Panthers' new patriarch. This is NCN Sports.
Memorial Day weekend is a time for remembrance and honor. And this Memorial Day weekend, we'll salute our troops like no one else. At the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday, May 27th. The most patriotic day in racing starts with an amazing pre-race concert by country superstars the Eli Young Band. Another line in the storied history of America's home for racing, Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Coca-Cola 600, this weekend in Charlotte. There's nothing like it.
Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox remain in a virtual first-place tie in the American League East following victories by both teams on Sunday. The Bronx Bombers throttled the Royals 10-1 in Kansas City, while the Bo Sox kept pace, shutting out the Orioles 5-0. Triangle schools make up 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds in the upcoming ACC baseball tournament. The Coastal Division champion North Carolina Tar Heels are the top seed in the tournament. They'll take the field at DeBap for the first time Wednesday evening against number 12 Pittsburgh. NC State grabbed the top seed in Pool C. They won't play until Thursday when they take on Virginia. NC State also will play Friday versus number 6 FSU. Duke is the top seed in Pool D. They've got 2 morning start times in the tournament. On Thursday, they'll take on Wake Forest, the second game coming Friday against Louisville. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We'll see partly sunny skies around the area today. Plenty of humidity, along with a few widely scattered to scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon and evening. A few of those with locally heavy rain or gusty winds. We'll have highs that reach about 81 to 86. Tonight will be mostly cloudy and a little muggy. We'll have lows in the low to mid-60s. And then on Tuesday, partly to mostly cloudy. A pretty good chance of showers and storms toward the foothills. Lesser chances farther east. Highs upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Forecast mostly cloudy all this week. We'll have a little sun peeking out behind those clouds most of the time, but mostly cloudy with scattered showers most of the day as well. Hopefully, not as much rain as we got over the weekend. We'll see what happens, and we'll stay tuned right here to the weather. It's 66 degrees right now and cloudy. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Stand by for Word of Faith Responds. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. So good to be with you again this morning on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. And we're here today speaking out on the Word of Faith, speaks out and responds to these false allegations and news media reports against the church. And we've come to the airways to let you get to know us, to hear about us, and find out what goes on in the Word of Faith Fellowship Church. Our pastors, Sam and Jane Whaley, and the members of our church wanted to speak out just to let you know, the listeners in Rutherford County and the surrounding area and those that listen by internet, what is going on at the Word of Faith Fellowship. And this young woman is here today with me, and it is one of the most powerful testimonies of the saving grace of God that you're going to hear. We've been bringing you testimonies of our church members that have been members of the church for many, many years, and they've experienced the love of God. They've heard the preaching of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it has brought a change in their life. When the gospel of Jesus Christ is preached and it goes into the hearts of men and women receive the gospel truth, their lives are changed. Our church is full of love, and it's full of lives of human beings that have been changed by the power of God. And so this morning, you're going to hear from Tanya Hubbard. You've heard from her husband. He had a powerful testimony a few weeks ago on the program, and today you're going to hear from Tanya. She suffered a childhood of abuse and pain, and as a young adult was in the depths of sin. And God found this young woman and called her out, and she received the call from the Lord Jesus Christ and has given her heart to Jesus. But she's going to tell you the agony of sin and the pain she experienced as a child and the abuse and the way the Lord brought her out of all of that and saved her by his grace is a total miracle. So we want you to hear from Tanya today and be touched and be blessed by what Jesus has done in our life. I want to remind you at the beginning of the program to go to wordoffaithfellowship.org. You can hear more testimonies, more videos of our members speaking out and telling you about their lives and what the gospel of Jesus Christ has done in their lives. Tanya, share with us.
Good morning, Rutherford County. Thank you, Jim, for allowing me to be here and speaking about what God has done in my heart and being a part of this wonderful ministry. Without it, I wouldn't be here. I thank God for it, so thank you. I was born in Saginaw, Michigan. My parents were divorced when I was young. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I have a brother who's younger than I am, 3 years younger, and I have another brother. And I was there coming up. I had a relationship with my dad. We all did. But I was kind of a daddy's little girl. And their divorce, it was pretty hard, and that was my first experience of marriage. I had other relatives that were in divorce and adultery, different things. As growing up, I could see this. My grandparents, they were in church, and my grandmother was in church. She was very strict, and I spent times with them. And growing up, I would be teased a lot by other children. I have dimples, and they would pick on me about my dimples and things. And I was very timid. I didn't like to fight, and so I would never fight. So I would get beat up a lot. And it started, I would come home, and the children in the neighborhood would tell my mother, and I would tell her I've gotten beat up. And my mother would spank me for getting beat up. And she would say, whatever you got to do, you pick up, whatever you got to pick up, hit them, you're going to defend yourself. And I didn't want to fight. I was very sweet, timid little child. And my mother began to teach me how to fight. So I would go to school, and I would pick up whatever I could or to fight or what, and the neighborhood children would pick on me. And I remember one time, a group of the children were going to jump on me. And there was a grass sickle out in the yard, and I picked up the sickle, and I remember my mother said, because it was worse to get a beating from my mother than from the children. So I began to swing that sickle, and it is the mercy of God that no one got hurt. But through that, I began to get very aggressive. I mean, it was even one point where an older boy had stolen my bike and beat me up, took my bike. And my mother, she had got me, and we went and found that little boy, and she taught me how to beat this boy up and get my bike back. And as she's telling me to hit him, she's telling me how to hit him and how aggressive to hit him, and she told me, I'm going to beat you if you don't beat him. And I mean, she made me fight this little boy. So I got my bike back, but I thought, this really works. I mean, being aggressive, I can defend myself. I can do this. So growing up, here I am, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I mean, I'm starting to feel all this anger. So my mother, she didn't work at the time, but she liked to go out a lot, and she would go out to parties and things, and she would leave us with babysitters, and a lot of those babysitters were male babysitters, and through that I had a lot of abuse. And then as time went by, we would go with her to the card parties and things, and it was a lot of drinking, smoking, whatever it was there. And I learned a lot that I shouldn't have learned in that atmosphere. And here it is, about in the 4th grade, I'm learning how to drink alcohol. I'm learning how to smoke. I mean, there's sexual sins that I'm already involved with. I'm in the 4th grade. And sometimes we would go with my dad. My dad would come and pick us up when he had visitations, and sometimes he would show up and sometimes he would not show up. And the times he would show up, we would go with him. And I saw a lot in that atmosphere. My father was doing drugs, alcohol, and he had a lot of drug paraphernalia, and I would watch them do drugs. In another room, I would just watch a lot of things and hear things, and I would even start stealing marijuana from him. And I'm still in the 4th grade. I learned how to smoke marijuana by watching them smoke marijuana. And as I got older, 5th grade, I also had an uncle who was an alcoholic. Both of my uncles were alcoholics. There was a lot of drinking in my family. And my uncle was also into voodoo and a lot of other and witchcraft, a lot of things. And in our house, you would go to a lot of people's houses. They would have maybe a Bible sitting on the counter or somewhere, you know, and I didn't know, I had never been in church. I had no idea what church was and what it was about. But on our counter, we had the book. It was a novel. It was called The Exorcist. And at one point, my mom had taken us to the drive-in to see this movie. But I would sneak and read this book, and I would read it, and listening to my uncle talk to my mother and different people, and he would just talk, and he would talk about the witchcraft that he was involved with. And he was an artist, and he was very good at it. And I remember one time over our bathroom, he drew a life-size picture of a zombie that glowed in the dark. And I would be so terrified to go to the bathroom at night. But he would tell me that it would, would protect me or what. And through all that, I began to get an interest in the witchcraft. My mother was also into some things. And during school, they had weekly readers. The book mobile would come through. Everybody would get, Nancy Drew or just different kind of books. I was getting books about vampires, werewolves, and different things I would read up on, and they were selling those books. But at the same time, I had grandparents that were in church, and I would go spend a lot of time with them. My grandmother would speak a lot of things about the things of God, but I didn't understand it. And what I understood was the witchcraft that I was learning and the environment that I was in. There was confusion there with me. By the 5th grade, they had an inner city music program, and I wanted to learn how to play an instrument. And my uncle, he was into jazz, and I remember seeing an alto saxophone, and I wanted to play that. So my father paid for that, and I ended up taking up in the 5th grade there playing the alto saxophone. And I excelled through school in music. I went on, and by this time, around the 6th grade, my mother remarries, and my stepdad comes in the picture. And I was very much, I was thinking that he was taking the place of my dad. And so I didn't get along with my stepdad too much, but he loved me. He took care of me like I was his own. But through the rebellion in me, I pushed him away. And one of the things that I felt like he was thinking that in our relationship, that we make it better. My mom drank, he drank, everybody drank. And they said, well, we don't want you to go out and drink in the streets while you drink at home. I'm in the 6th grade. My parents are buying me Wild Irish Road, MD 2020, all these types of wines and things. and I would sit up and drink, and this went on, and I began to start in sports, softball, basketball, and I excelled also in that. But I also was drinking a lot, and I can remember in the 9th grade, in my alto saxophone case, I would have this little compartment where I would keep a half pint of Bacardi rum. I always drank that. 151. I'm in the 9th grade, and I'm drinking Bacardi 151. And I would hide it in my case. And by this time, I was drinking a lot. I was stealing cigarettes from my mom, still going over my dad's getting marijuana. And this time, I was buying marijuana other places. I began to get in a group, children there in the 9th grade. Some of them were, they were dropping out of school, or some of them were gang members, would come up to the school, the junior high school. And I was still getting good grades in school, still in the music program, enjoying, playing in the music. And by the 10th grade, I was fully into the things of the cult. And in the 9th grade, I met this little boy. He was in my math class. And we were talking one day, and he said, I was born in the cemetery. And I was like, what? Born in the cemetery? He said, yes. And his mother told me he was destined to live for death, and he told me more things. And through that, his mom was a witch, I found out. And he was beginning to tell me a lot of things that he was taught at home with a lot of witchcraft. And I befriended this little boy, and through that I began to get books on the occult and different things, and through the 10th grade, and then as I was going through high school, I got very good in music, and I had some of the instructors. They had this gifted school there in town, and my teachers felt like I needed to go to that school, and they spoke to my mother, and she agreed. So through high school, I would go to classes up to 12 o'clock, and then I would go to the School of the Gifted after 12. And that, for my whole high school years, I did that. And with that, I had an instructor who was also a jazz musician, and he played with a lot of different people in the music world. And I met this man who was a tutor, and he played with Dizzy Gillespie, different ones. And he kind of sort of took me under his wing, and I learned a lot through that and got involved with that. And I got deeper into that, deeper into drinking, and started drugs. I start kind of experimenting with other things. And my mom and I never got along, but I always kept my grades good. Because my mother, she always threatened us, it would not be good if we let our grades drop. So I kept my grades. I graduated. I was probably I think it was the 40th place it was almost like 1,000 students. I had a good GPA. And I didn't have a desire to go to college because I was enjoying my time of being wild. And even at this point, I was starting to really experiment with different things with drugs and alcohol. And I began to see a lot of things. I would see blackbirds a lot of times. I would sit inside a building and see birds. And sometimes I would hear voices. And I didn't tell anybody about it, but I thought it was a lot of the stuff that I was doing with the witchcraft, which I thought was a good thing. And so I ended up, I wanted to go to school. One thing I liked animals, and I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I have family members who are in mortuary science, in the morticians, and I wanted to go into mortuary science. So I said, well, what I'm going to do, I want to go in to school to be a veterinarian and to minor in mortuary science, and also a double minor in music. And my mom, she was okay with that. She was a nurse, but she wanted me to go into nursing, and I didn't quite want to do that. So I talked to a couple of instructors. I ended up Eastern Michigan I was going to go to, and put in the application. I mean, everything was going through. I mean, I could get a scholarship. And then my mother said, well, what if somebody brings a spider in and you have to treat a spider? And I was terrified of spiders at the time. And I thought about it and I said, well, so I'm not going to veterinary medicine. So I didn't go into veterinary medicine, but I found out later you didn't have to take a spider, but I didn't know any better then. But so I ended up getting a scholarship to Alabama State University, and my instructor really he wanted me to perform, my high school instructor, band director. And at this time, he would sometimes give me the keys to the band room. I would learn all kind of instruments. I had played all the brass, all the wood. I had just learned all those different instruments. And in our high school, we were doing competitions, jazz competitions. I was going different places for competitions, and I was really good at it. And so he said, I mean, I really feel I can get a scholarship, which I did. So I went to Alabama State. And at this time, I was brought up very racist, and I was very prejudiced. And I went to an all black elementary, junior high, high school, and that was put in me. And so here I go to all black college, and so I go off to school, and I was a music major. I did very well in my music classes and things. But I still had that rebellion in me that I wanted to party. And for me, going off to college was the worst that I could have done in my life, because it opened me up to a lot of what was out there. I mean, if you don't have your priorities straight and God didn't send you, it's a mess. So I would go to my music classes, and other classes I wouldn't go to. And I did this for 2.5 years. I pledged a sorority, was all into the sorority and fraternity things. I had to do a lot of things to pledge. I even had to pledge the band, and I had to do a lot of bad things in order to cross the line, so to speak, or what they called it when I pledged. And I was involved with a lot of sexual sin. And I had so many relationships, and I couldn't keep up with them. And I began to date men. I began to date women. I was just all over. I drank a lot. And I mean, some mornings I would wake up, I didn't even know where I was at and how I got there. And my grade point average plummet. I didn't realize you could get a 1.8 GPA, and because I wasn't used to that, but it plummeted bad. And so my mother said, you need to come back home. And I said, well, Ma, I can get my grades up. No, you need to come back home. And so I went back home, but she told me before I went, she said, if you go off to school, I will pay some of it, which is your scholarship doesn't pay, which it paid a lot of my schooling. But she said, you promised me that you would go into something medical, something in the medical field. And I was like, okay, sure. And I also, as young, I had an interest in medicine. I mean, I would, she would had her nursing books, and I would read her nursing books. I would watch Marcus Welby, MD, different things there. I always liked the medical things. But I didn't want to go in it because I had so much bitterness and offense toward her. I didn't want to be a nurse like her. But I said, okay, I'll do that. And so I went back home, and I got a job as a CNA. And even there, going back home, I like to party. I'd still like to give to all that. And I worked, and my mother, our relationship, my relationship with my stepfather was good, but my relationship with my mother, it was terrible. I mean, we fought all the time. And ended up, she told me I had to leave. I could not stay there. So I went to stay with my grandparents for a while. And my grandparents, I didn't do too much there because I was restrained. I mean, and I couldn't understand that, but I mean, my grandmother was a God-fearing woman. She was, and I stayed there for a little while, and I couldn't stay there because, I mean, I was still doing a lot of the witchcraft, the cult. I had gotten into things even just much deeper, gotten involved with other people, and I was still drinking. I was a full-blown alcoholic then. And I had friends at the time crack cocaine was coming about in that time, and I had friends were on that. I had friends that were dying and in gangs, and the people I hung out with and they were selling drugs, and so I was involved with a lot. And so I moved out with my grandparents, and my brother, when I moved, he was having a hard time with my mother, and by that time he had graduated, and he said, I want to go with you. So my brother, we never got along. He was 3 years younger than I was. I got along with my younger brother, but I said, sure, you can come. So we went, and we had an apartment, and our first night at this apartment, we were moving our things in, and this car spins around the corner, and hanging out the door was this lady on the door, and she's screaming, and the guy is cussing her out and things, and we were like, okay, this is some type of neighborhood, and that's what type of neighborhood it was. It was pretty rough, and I had gotten involved with somebody who was selling drugs, and it got to be pretty bad. I mean, we'd have people sometime to come over, and with gang members and different things would go on about, and they would tell us, and they were involved with things, and so that's just kind of how I was going along right then. And so I had a job. I worked at a hospital, and there was a nurse there. Now, at this time, I have no interest in church or anything. I know nothing about church. And I worked with this other CNA. She was older, and she used to tell me, I had a very foul mouth, very foul. And she would try to help me, and she would say, Tanya, what if I charge you a nickel for every bad word you say? And maybe that'll help you with your mouth. And I said, okay, well, I would leave there at night. Sometimes I owe her like $5, $6, $7 because of my language. And she thought, well, she raised it up to a dime, and maybe that would even help me more. But it seemed like the more she was raising the price on how much I, spoke, it was even worse. But she said she would pray for me, and I said, sure. But I didn't care for Christianity. I thought Christianity was for people who were weak, and you needed something to have a crutch on, And so I didn't want to hear all that. But there was one nurse there that had a problem with hearing. And I remember her telling me she was a Methodist, and she went to a Methodist church. And she was very sweet. I never saw her get upset. I was, at this time, full of anger. People were afraid to say something to me. If I had done something wrong or something, they wouldn't correct me, because I would just fly off the handle, and I would cuss them out. And I argued with Christians, and I would tell them, how Satan ruled and reigned and different things. And a lot of these women who had come to work with their Bibles, and I called them Bible-toting mamas, and I would pick with them and mock them. And I didn't want to hear all that. But this nurse, she never looked at that, and she was very sweet with me. So I would hear her talk about church, and I thought, if somebody really, church does that to someone, this woman I thought was really different. But I still wasn't interested in church, but I know God had sent that nurse to me, because something struck something in me. It was the Spirit of God was drawing me, because I was drawn to this lady. But she got another job, and she left. So more and more I was working 2 and 3 jobs, because I had to keep up my habit with my drinking and my smoking marijuana and my pills, and I had a bad habit. So I was working 2 and 3 jobs, and more and more I began to get depressed, and I began to get suicidal. And I was in so many relationships. I was going back and forth in different relationships, different things was going on. And I'm thinking, this is the way to live. This is how you live. This is how it is. And everybody around me, my friends through high school, a lot of them were gone. I met different other people, and they began to get more involved with things. So my brother and I moved to a different place, and things began to spiral. It's just everything got really bad, and I became very depressed. And I had tried suicide twice with pills, and each time, I mean, it didn't. I wasn't successful with that. And I see we're running low on time there, and so I became really depressed. And at this time, I was still thinking suicide, and I had a bunch of friends, and we got involved with a lot of times we played a lot of. I had a lot of card parties where I lived. I went to different places, and I had one night. I remember that I had a friend. I was dating her. She had a boyfriend. He was dating her. I mean, it was a whole big mess that I was involved with. But we sat outside one day, and there was this guy there, and he was drunk, and he was high on drugs, and he had all this money. And I remember the guy looking at me, and it was just the three of us, and I knew what this guy was going to do. I mean, he was going to rob this guy. And I was all for it, but then all of a sudden, I didn't have it anymore, and I just walked away. And to this day, I don't know. Something happened to the man, but I don't know exactly what happened. But I wasn't a part of it. I walked away, and I thought later, why did you do that? Because my thinking then, I mean, the people I was with, I was pretty rough, and I was full of a lot of anger. And I thought, you could have got that money or what, but another part of me, I didn't want to do it, and I didn't quite understand it. And so later on, I had my friends and we used to get a lot of videos, and I got into a lot of pornography. And I had got this video, and I went to return this video one day at a video store. And a friend that I had known way back in junior high school, she had blew a horn, and I saw her across the way, and she came up, and I hadn't seen her in years, and we started talking. And I was kind of putting the video behind my back, trying to hide it, and she's speaking to me and asked me how I was doing, and she said she was in church, and I knew it was a difference about her. And so we exchanged numbers, but I had no intention of calling her because I didn't want to hear her talk about Jesus or anything. And so I just took the number.
We're going to stop it right there, Tanya, because we are going to come back with part 2 on Wednesday. And what she's told you so far has been now she's at the lowest point in her life and she wants to die. And what takes place in this next season of time in her life, you'll want to hear it. She had been through the drugs, the abuse, the sexual sin, the gangs, the crime, life of crime, and she comes to the lowest point where she wants to take her life. And so we will pick up on Wednesday, and she'll tell you what happened to her that totally turned her life around and changed her into a miracle. We're so glad you listened today. Thank you so much. And please go to the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org, and listen to testimonies from our members and change lives. And we'll be back on Wednesday with Tanya, part 2. Have a great day.
Enjoy the Atlanta Braves and NASCAR here on the Foothills most sports station, WCAB Rutherfordton.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or